in our program. He was going through that and got a chance to experience that with him. So for us, I'm just thankful for him and his family, his mom, his father, just telling them wish God continues to stay with him and be blessed, and for his brother just to show how tough he was. That meant a lot to us to be able to do that. Outside of that, man, we get an opportunity to play against one of the blue bloods of college football. I've looked up to this team for a long time. I remember when Coach Phil Farmer was coaching there. I got a cousin named Rashad Baker who got a chance to play there. He was a 4-year starter, so being able to see Tennessee for a long time, and I think Coach Heupel has stepped in and done an amazing job. Just from when he started there, his coaching career, his playing career as a football player, and then now as a coach. It's always second to none, right? I mean, he does an amazing job. Last year was in the college playoffs already. Got a chance to compete against him, and I was at Georgia 2 times, and actually the hardest week of being able to prepare for them. He just got a lot of good players. He's an intelligent coach. Coach Joey Hazel, their offensive coordinator, does a really good job. They got a new guy at the helm, Aguilar, who I think is really good. I remember him because watching App State, went to Western Carolina, it was a rival, so always getting to see what App does. I'm always up to watching them, and I thought he did a real good job at that school, and just thought he was a really good quarterback, right? A good player, and excited for what he does. I know he's a Cali kid that loves to sling the ball. That's what he grew up doing, so happy for him. Offensively, also the running backs, I think their running backs are really good. Deshaun Starr and Peyton Lewis. I remember Peyton being a really good player. Deshaun. Sorry to mess his name, but Deshaun is really good. And then Starr, I mean, shit, his name speaks for itself, right? But those running backs are really good. I think their tight ends are extremely well. I know just watching them and doing things all the time. It was 87. It's one of them, 19. So a couple different guys they got. But I like the receiver, 17, Braswell. I know Mike Matthews from the recruiting trail, being at Georgia. Got a chance to recruit him a little bit. He's a really good football player. And then those freshmen they brought in, I just literally wrote it down from watching and going back and see what they do. But Travis Smith, Darius Johnson, and Dotson, like those guys can really play ball. And let's not forget about 14, Braylon Staley, who really is a good football player also. And then the defensive side of the ball, Tim Banks, who's a good coach. I got to know him a little bit. We're not like the best of friends, but I know who he is. I respect him. I respect the work that he's done. I remember meeting him from Penn State and things of that nature. He's done a real good job at coaching. That linebacker, 7, Aaron, he's a beast. I mean, he just could play football. He's really good. Does a really good job. The DBs, of course, they got one of the best corners in the country. And number 3, just watching them play. And, it's tough with him. I hear they don't know if he'll play or if he does play. But, shit, I would play him if I was them. He's good as heck. He could play football. I know Ricky, I recruited him a little bit when I was at Georgia. He's a good football player. Also, to be able to see Boo Carter, I'll be excited to see him. I thought he was a good kid, and being able to recruit him, I think he might be playing both ways. I'm not really sure what he's doing. I think he's the star, but he's a good job at the nickel position. And their D-line, 19, did a hell of a job last year, 22. And I think they're real deep in the D-line, right? They had a lot of guys when you go and watch them, and you could see they can do. And then from a special teams perspective, Evan Crabtree, I know he was on the staff, so they had a lot of things they done well last year. They really try to get going in the return game on PBR. We're expecting them to come try to block some punts, right? But in the same sense, we think they'll also try to set some returns up because I think they could be dangerous there with the speed they have on their football team. But we're thankful for the opportunity we get to go play against these guys.
Questions? Start right in front, go to Yvonne, then Chris.
Fran, as you started preparing for this week's game, what was so similar in your game prep from the defensive side, this time around compared to when you were doing the same thing at Georgia, getting ready for Tennessee?
Well, I was a corners coach there, so that was a big difference. I'm the head coach now. But I don't know, we're just different teams, right? We run different defenses. It's not the same, so comparing us to them is a little bit different. I don't know. It's different comparable for me to them. I was just watching every little piece. I was watching a lot of different things from a defensive back perspective because I was only looking at it as the cornerbacks coach, right? Now I'm the head football coach, so I watch the complete games all the time. I'm watching the full games and going through it a little bit different in that nature of it. So I think it's a huge difference in the preparation. And as you asked them from a defensive perspective, well, we're two different. Like we run two different schemes, right? We're not who they are. their guys are a little bit different up front, right? They got those big two-gappers and things of that nature. We more, a different game, so it'll be different with us.
Is there anything schematically about Tennessee that's still somewhat similar?
Shit, they're going to go fast. Yeah, they're going to go fast. We're going to make sure they go fast. But, I mean, Tennessee runs what they run, right? They're not worrying about what you're in. You better worry about what they in, because when you don't get home, when you're not ready, then it's all about what they're on.
Chris?
Fran, when you came in here, you said, I want to build an SEC-level team and program and roster. Where do you think you've made the most progress so far?
Just overall, throughout the team. Should we talk about that after the game, right? Some of the questions you asked, if I start to say that, then that's kind of like giving up all the information for us to be able to play for them. So, I mean, you'll just watch the game and then you'll be able to tell me that more, because you guys are the experts at it, right? Y'all get to be right no matter what you write. So for me, I'll just say we're just getting better at all positions. We're working our butt off at all positions. I think we're a little bigger everywhere. We're faster everywhere. When it comes to guys' size and speed, I try to get big people, because I always tell y'all big people beat little people up. And we're about to go against a real big football team. So we're trying to, we'll see this week what positions match up and where they are. I mean, these guys they're a good program, right? It's a good team. So it's a good test for us to have a chance to go out and see if we're able to compete.
And when you talked about leadership last year, you sort of mentioned this moment with Kyle in mat drills where he wouldn't drop, right, in push-ups or planking or something, and knowing that he was the type of guy that could lead your guys. Has there been a moment like that with Steve yet that really jumps out to you in the same way?
Yeah, Steve ready to go. Steve a leader. He ready to go. He ready to play. He been like that since he was at Bergen Catholic. So now he just got an opportunity to go lead a team again. So Steve's ready to go. He's a team guy. He's about winning.
We'll go to Samantha and then Cooper.
Coach, what kind of statement do you think a Week 1 win against Tennessee on national television would mean for you and your team?
I'm just worrying about just one day at a time, really. For me, I ain't really thinking about Saturday right now, honestly. I'm just trying to focus on the day. I'm trying to make sure that we be ready for practice today. We get a chance to walk a little bit. We're going to be off, so the guys get a chance to make sure they take care of their bodies and we chilling. We ain't doing nothing today like that. So for me, I'm just focused on the day and making sure we prep the right way as a coaching staff, make sure everybody's ready to go so we're ready to play.
Go to Cooper on the end.
Coach, how much was this game a point of motivation for you guys throughout training camp, just getting ready, to be on a national stage to open the season?
Yeah, I'm just motivated that I wake up every day. I'm not sure. Some of the questions y'all telling me, they set-up questions, right? I don't want to give nobody else ammo to be happy about us playing them or us happy to play. Man, we happy to play football. Y'all could have put rowing on the schedule, and we was going to make sure that we practice the same way. I'm going to be the same person all the time. I'm motivated that Mr. Wildhack picked me to be the head football coach here, and I get to represent the S. I get to go out and speak for Syracuse, for who they are and what the tradition of this program has been, right? Just for all the people that were here before us, right? Kyle Federer always talked about, we stand on the shoulders of the people before. So without all the people that was already here, all the hard work they put in, for me, having the opportunity of having Keith Bullock here all summer, Dwight Freeney here this summer, being able to call Marvin Harrison and talk to him about things that's why I'm motivated to make sure that we play well. That's why I'm motivated to make sure that we do things the right way. But I don't think, with all due respect to every team, I'm self-motivated. There's a lot of individual goals that I have in my life for myself. There's a lot of team goals that we all have. So for us as a team-wise, we want to win a national championship. So that's what motivates us first and foremost, right? And then as long as we do everything as a team and we stay consistently focused on DART and we keep our core values before our personal goals, we're going to be straight.
Christian in front.
Coach, in just a few months, how pleased are you to see the impact that this new Lally facility has had on your program?
It's cool. It's amazing. Yeah, it's really amazing. If I wasn't married, I would stay in my office. I wouldn't even go home. If I didn't have a wife, I would not go home. I would just be here chilling all the time, work, do everything. So, it's amazing. It's a great place. This is one of the best buildings I've been in a long time, so I'm very thankful for the building.
Yep. Coach, how would you assess your tight end room entering the season, just the development you've seen from that group throughout this training camp?
They're doing well. Dan's working hard. We just met this morning. He came in and we talked a little bit. I was cussing him out a little bit this summer. He was a little mad. I didn't know. And then once we started having the conversations, I knew I made him mad one day. He told me. But I thought he did well all summer. I think Coach Johnson and Coach Thomas, they're doing a really good job developing those guys. We got some young guys in that room that are developing. Elijah Washington Baker. We just got Bowman. He's here now. Wyatt Bowman, who's a young guy that's getting developed, and Jamie's doing really well. Jamie's freaking 225 pounds now, so that'll help us. And then you got Chase, who's over there playing a little bit, so we're gonna be pretty straight.
Fran, you have a pretty young core group of players on the team, a lot of players that maybe don't necessarily have starting experience.
Yeah.
This week, today, tomorrow, how are you kind of leaning on those players that do have starting experience to kind of help out, those guys that you are looking towards that, maybe need that boost?
You better get ready. It's here, right? I mean, I don't really think that anyone else could get you more prepared but your coaching and the practice. I think the practice has to be intense. It has to be meaningful, like every little situation. They got to understand the situation. They got to know how important that situation is. And if they understand and they know that, then when the game comes, it becomes trained behavior. So that's up to me to put them in situations to be ready for that light, right? We talked about the stages and things of that nature. So, I know this is a big game for everybody, and it's the first. It's a big game because it's the first game, right? And then you're playing against one of the better programs in college football history. So it's going to take us for me to make sure I put them in situations all week to have them ready to go out and compete on Saturday.
Go back to the third row.
Hey, Coach. As far as the transfer class, how do you feel about that group as a whole? Now, of course, we're less than a week away from the start of the season. How have they kind of ingratiated themselves within the program since the start of training camp?
Yeah, our culture just naturally integrated everybody into it. And me, I'm very demanding, so I'm very demanding. I don't care when you got here. This is what we're doing. This is how you got to do it and figure it out. We gotta figure it out fast. We don't have time for you to wait. And, well, my other coach used to be. I don't care about that. I'm not your other coach, and we're not there anymore. Figure it out. This is how we're doing it. Let's hurry up and do it. And I think the faster that you make sure guys understand and know that, the quicker they get the opportunity to go be the best versions of themselves. But when you try to let them hold on to what used to happen at the other program or what happened with the past place they was at or how they feel, like it kind of. It doesn't help us, though, right? So I'm about just like, let's go, let's move on, right? Learn from it, move on.
We're here to Zach, and then stay in front, go Javon and Chris right after.
Fran, just what was the biggest thing that you learned about your team as a whole during training camp?
We just got to keep getting tougher. I think we're a talented football team. We just have to keep getting tougher. We don't have as much experience as much play experience as it is, but they're pretty talented, so we're going to be learning on the job, right? We're learning on the job.
Was the approach a little bit, different this training camp, considering you had guys that might not have had that playing experience, or was it sort of similar?
It was somewhat similar.
Fran, can you speak a little bit to the development of David Owen Periola? When you first got here, he was a stand-up linebacker. Now he's going to play some defensive end for you. Can you talk about that transition and how he's navigated it?
He's just doing a good job. David O listens to everything you ask to do. He works extremely hard. It's in his blood, right? That's just who he is. That's what he's about. He just puts the work in. He just puts his head down and he just work. He just work. And he's a hard worker, and faith and hard work is a piece of who we are. It's a part of our culture and stuff like that. So he exemplifies it. So that's just what he does.
Staying in that room, how did getting Mo Wilkerson up here, how did that come about, and how much is he going to help that room this year?
I knew Mo for a long time, being as though I'm right from Camden, New Jersey. He played at Temple. So one of my coaches coached him when he was in college. Rule was coaching him. So then when he got drafted, I came over and started working at Temple. He's just always been straight with me. He's always been a good person. I knew that Mo had got done playing, went through different things or whatever, the nature, and just from me understanding and knowing him and us getting a chance to talk. You know, it's been me thinking and manifesting this for about a year or so, saying, you know, I think you should come up here with myself, right? Because this is a developmental program, right? We are all about diamonds in the rough, and we're about making sure people make the best of opportunities. And I think being with myself, me being a guy that was left back in the 12th grade, that worked his butt off to try to do so many things in life, and it's always been different obstacles thrown in my way. But for Mo to be able to look at me and know, dang, this dude is just like myself. Like, let's get it. I think he'll come here, work with us about a year, and probably go to the NFL. So that was more so. That was our plan. Get him up here, get him to be able to work around us, to be able to show our young guys what it's like to just grow now and go easily to the NFL, go easily into the work world, and not allow the outside noise to be a distraction, right? Because if he went through it, right, at the highest level, being able to do all those things, and sometimes you start to listen to all the things that you shouldn't listen to, and I think this helps a lot. With faith and hard work being our core values here, outside of Dart, that's something that he's able to tap back into his faith now, and he's able to see how we just work extremely hard every day. It's an all-day schedule, right? You're here from 7 till 10 at night as a coach most of the time and getting that stuff done. So just being able to help, more like a little brother. So being able to help little bro get some structure back into what he's doing, so then that way he could be where he belongs, right? He's always been a good person, like he got a good heart, but he belongs on the top. So I want to make sure that we put him in position to continue to succeed.
Franny the other day mentioned, I think this is his first chance to get coached by you since he was 6 years old.
Franny?
Franny.
Yeah.
What's it been like coaching your son so far?
It's cool. It's just at practice, he one of the players. So it might not be cool for him all the time, because when he don't do things the right way, I'm coming at him, making sure that I'm on his butt. But it's cool, because then afterwards I got to talk to him and just got to go and make sure it's the right way. He works hard, right? He works really hard, and it's important to him. So when you know that it's important to somebody and they work hard, I'm okay if you make a mistake at that. But if I don't feel you're putting the effort in that's needed to be put in, that's where I go a little bit different. But he's working hard, and I'm happy to coach him. I hope that he can bring that same energy that we had when he was 6 and I coached him, because we won a championship that year. So hopefully that come back again and we just go win it again this year, right? But I'm so blessed and thankful to coach my son. I'm so blessed that he's going to get a degree from Syracuse, right? From the Whitman School. 2 different degrees out of that school. It's, you know what I'm saying, as a father, I'm on cloud 9 when it comes to that, right? So I'm very thankful for that. I'm thankful for the university, all the professors, the dean there, just everyone that's helping me help my son become a man.
And I think before you took the job here, you mentioned on a podcast that one of the toughest conversations you had was sitting and being like, hey, I can't offer you, when you were at Georgia. What did he show you at St. Francis, or what changed?
Shit, I'm paying for this. What you mean? I'm paying for this. Unless you talk to them and tell them to let me not pay, you know what I'm saying? Last I checked, Miss Katie, don't we pay that bill? I pay for that, so, but he,
Did he show you something extra, I guess, that
a lot.
Bring him in?
Yeah, he stepped his game up on a whole nother level. He got a lot faster. He's hit over 20 miles per hour on the GPS daily. He's always doing that. He's very physical. He can hit, he can run. He's able to ID and do different things. That was one of the reasons we moved him to fullback, because of his contact. He loves contact. He can hit, and he's done an amazing job long snapping and being able to move that way. So he's definitely not the same player that he was coming out of high school. And then he got hurt. He's going into his senior year, halfway through the year or whatever, early part of the year. So that kind of messed him up a little. But he just worked, right? When I was at Georgia, he sat there and he came to work with me in the summer. He worked here with us before he went back. His first year, my first year here, he worked with us all summer, and then he put the work in. So I'm blessed to have him here, right? But for me, it was better to have my son. Not saying that he can't be on scholarship, because he easily could be on scholarship, but it's easy for me to pay and then get another kid, right? Yeah.
We'll go Samantha and then
You've mentioned a couple times that you don't necessarily feel motivated by Tennessee or the opponents that you're up against.
I ain't say that. So watch how she say that. Don't try to mark that and have them all. Fran said he ain't motivated by y'all.
My fault.
I said I am self-motivated, and I said that Tennessee is one of the better programs to be in college football. But for me and the way I grow, I don't allow other stuff to get me to go, right? Like I wanted to get a college degree so I could be successful and make money and do things of that nature. When it comes to this school, they're a really good program. I'm just saying I'm trying to focus on the day because they're entirely too good for us to try to focus and worry about playing them all week long. We just focus on playing them, and not focus on all the little intricate details that we need to do every day. We're not going to give ourselves a chance, right? So to give us a chance to be able to compete against them, we got to be where our feet are. So that way on Saturday we got an opportunity of at least being able to keep the game close. Because, man, they be putting 50, 60 up on people early in the beginning of the year. So I don't want to be that team that gives up 50, 60.
My question off of that was going to be, since you say you are a self-motivated person, how do you feel that you could develop better players and potentially even better men by teaching them what you believe, which is that true motivation comes from within?
We just do that daily. A lot of that comes through skull sessions. A lot of that comes through just your faith, right? And a lot of that comes through relationships. I don't think if I don't get to know the players, then I could never truly help the players do that, right? That takes for you to really get to know them. You got to really spend time with them. Like this morning, I got to talk to 6 different players on my team, right? But if I don't do that, then I'll never really get to help them be the best version of themselves. To understand that, like, true love comes within, right? To be able to love anyone else, you truly need to love yourself first, right? So when so many people feel like they love this person that much, and then when that relationship ends, they almost sometimes do the wrong thing and they leave this earth of committing stuff and things like that, that's because sometimes it probably wasn't the true, like, love. So I want to make sure every one of my players know that true love comes within, right? And to be self-motivated, you're going to keep going no matter who's motivating or who it is. We don't really want to prove anybody else wrong. We're just trying to prove ourselves right daily. And the more we prove ourselves right to reach all those goals that we had, then it helps us.
Fran, last year you had the experience of playing in an NFL stadium. This time around, there's going to be a considerable fan advantage that is going to tip towards Tennessee. Speaking of details, how do you account for the environment of this game into your game plan?
Everybody going to have an orange, so orange is orange. So we just got to not see the burnt orange as much, right? But orange is orange. My guys just going to be happy to be playing in the packed stadium. We're ready to go. I'm excited to go there and play football. I'm hoping that the Falcons got somebody there watching the game and they have an opportunity to see some of our players just as well as their players. This gives our kids a good opportunity of being able to go there and play. I was able to, I think I coached like 3 games there already, in 3 different games in that stadium. So this would be a good deal for us to get a chance to go there and do this.
Yeah, Coach, in your opening statement, you mentioned about Tennessee's, obviously, their defensive line depth and their talent. Just how do you think your offensive line and kind of the depth that you've built over this offseason is able to match that?
I'm not sure. We're going to get to tell this weekend, right? We'll get to tell you that Saturday how we're going to be able to match that. I know they're going to kind of compete. People averaged 17 points per game on them last year. I think they was 8th in the country. I mean, they did an amazing job. Only gave up 298 yards of total offense. On offense, they had 400-some yards. They rushed for 225 a game or 228, passed for 221. So we got our hands full. We're ready to compete, though.
Take 2 more. We'll start with Christian in front and Edmund Cooper on the end.
Coach, you talked about when you chose Steve as the starting quarterback, it was a lot about him building personal connections with the players on his team. How have you seen that leadership style?
Hold on, I said that?
Yeah.
That because he built personal connections?
That was one of the reasons.
Okay.
But how have you seen like those personal connections and players building personal connections trickle down throughout the rest of your team?
I I just push for us all to be close, right? We're not allowed to walk past anybody in the building and not speak to them. We're not allowed to not know everybody on the team's name. Like one guy need to get up here and I can point at anyone. You need to know what his name is, right? That's important that you do that because your name's the most powerful word in the world to you. But for us, everyone needs to build. Like we're in a room with, it's 116 guys on our team now. Out of 116 on the football team, like, there's going to be a lot of successful men here. So everyone's constantly trying to build and trying to do those things. I think Steve just had that naturally in him. Like, that's naturally his leadership ability to be able to connect and relate to different people and do those things. So, I mean, I think it's helped a lot. I've seen since he's been named the starter, I think his game's gotten even better. Like, he's playing better football than he was. And you know what's crazy? Ricky's playing even better also, right? So both of those guys are playing well. But since we've named him the starter, he's took it to another level and accepted it and is thankful for it and is working his butt off. And Steve's working just as well. I mean, Ricky's working just as well.
And last question,
Coach, talking to Jonte this camp, he says that, you know, right now he's more locked in than he's ever been before. With some of the troubles that, you know, he went through this offseason, just how do you feel like he's become more grounded since he's arrived at Syracuse?
Some of the troubles he's went through, he's saying before he got here. I don't know, we just got a structured plan. Like I sent his schedule to his coach yesterday, then we sent it to him, and we already had it filled out academically and all those things, and then he got to fill out the rest of his week. So I think when you have a detailed plan for how to dominate this week and you're able to do that, I think that helps young men be a little bit more on track, right? Could you imagine giving a 17-year-old kid that didn't have a whole bunch of stuff all the time? Just imagine giving them $100-some thousand, and they come to school all of a sudden, and you got no schedule, and you're telling me, make sure you're ready for practice at 2 o'clock. And if I don't check his class, I just don't know until that time comes, right? That stuff is tough, right? And I'm not saying that was necessarily his, because his grades are really high. So I'm saying there's just a lot, but we got a lot of structure here, giving a lot of structure to him. And me and him spend a lot of time together communicating. He talks to myself a lot. He talks to our AD a lot, a couple other people. So we just want to make sure we keep talking to him, and we're constantly helping him develop as a man, not just as a football player. And that's our job, to make sure that every student athlete across the entire campus, even if whether they're a football player or not, when we come across them, we want to make sure we talk to them to help them, to make sure that we're helping all of them develop as not just athletes, but as students also, and as men and women in this world, so that way they'll be extremely successful later on in life.